Well, there are more than 1 million female farmers in the U.S. today. And in honor of Women's History Month, we want to check in with an 8th-generation farmer who uses social media to advocate for agriculture and was also featured on our Live to Farm. Welcome to the program, Grayce Emick. So good to see you here, Grayce. Thank you so much for being here. And as I said before the break, I'm like, you're one bad mamma jamma. You can do it all. Let me ask you this. Is there anything that you can't do?
There's a lot of things I can't do. I'm still learning every day.
I have to ask you, first of all, again, 8th-generation farmer, right? You're there in Kentucky. Tell us a little bit about your operation.
Yeah, so we're a grain operation. We do corn, soybeans, and winter wheat. And I work alongside my dad and my uncle. Every day looks a little bit different. And like I said earlier, I'm learning something new every day. So I love it.
Well, I have to ask, was it your father, was your uncle, did you get real hands-on when you were a young kid?
Yeah, so my dad raised us all out there on the farm, but he never forced any of us to come back. I actually have 7 siblings, and none of them work on the farm. So he brought us out there, and it just stuck with me. So I've been hands-on from a very young age.
Well, I got to tell you, it is so impressive to watch what you do on social media. You're so good, first of all. I know that is a job in and of itself. But using social media to show us what you do, I mean, I'm watching you weld. I'm watching you change oil. You just recently renovated a Mack truck. I'm like, Grayce, what is happening? You're so great at really inspiring. And I think everybody, men and women, but especially women of all ages. So maybe share with us why it's so important to really tell your story through social media.
Well, the way that I grew up, like I had talked about just a second ago, very hands-on. I was never looked at differently because I'm a woman. I was always encouraged to just, do it. I didn't really think that it was that crazy of a thing until I got on social media and I really started, getting hate comments about how I should stay in the kitchen and getting messages from other young girls and women who are wanting to come back to the farm, but their dad or husband or whatever just doesn't think that it's a right fit for them and, just looking for advice. So really my platform has pivoted a little bit to catering to women and inspiring women. And I guess just showing my daily life on the farm is helping in that. And I never really realized how big of an impact it made until, the last few years when I really started to grow, and it's just been an amazing journey and I love it.
Well, I love that you're getting the opportunity that women can directly message you through social media. And when they have those things, when they hear those things that, hey, so-and-so says I shouldn't be doing this, or as a female, I should be taking on this role. What is your advice to women when they tell you these things?
My biggest advice is going to another farm to learn. And I went to different farms when I was in college. I worked on 2 different farms, not because I didn't have a place at my own farm, but just because I needed a job. And really, I learned a lot at both of those places, and I was able to bring that back to my own operation. And my biggest piece of advice from that is learn everything you can, whether that's at another farm or getting a job in the industry, showing your value. I've always said that women have to work twice as hard to get the same amount of respect as a man. And I do believe that. And unfortunately is that way, but we're playing a big role in this. The industry is pivoting at this moment, and we are playing a big role, and we have to be eager to learn. We have to show that we are capable because we're still breaking into the normalcy of women being in the industry. So we really have to be open-minded and work really hard for the generations to come.
Yeah, I love that. I love that advice. If you're being held back in one place, go somewhere else and get some experience somewhere else. And by the way, not just women too. You're really speaking to a younger generation. It's not lost on us that farmers are aging out, and maybe some farms they're selling off to get younger people to stay in this industry when we know it's so hard. I think you're really speaking to the entire heart of a younger generation. So you are doing incredible, incredible work. Keep it up. We're going to be watching you and love having you here. So impressed by you, Grayce. Thank you. Tell your family we said hey, too. They did a great job raising you. Grayce
I'll
Emick.
do that.
It's a bet. Grayce Emick, better known as Farmer Grayce. You want to give her a follow on social media.